Hey guys, how's it going? Ed here with another fragrance review, and today I'm going to be talking about Superstitious Eau de Parfum by Frederic Malle. This was first launched in 2016, and as per usual for Frederic Malle, it comes in a variety of different bottle sizes and prices. There's a 1.2 ml sample for around £5, a single 10 ml travel atomizer for £46, a set of 3 10 ml travel size atomizers for £114, a 50 ml bottle for £158, and a 100 ml bottle for £230. So as you can see, this is something of a pricey fragrance. Now, the perfumer behind this is none other than Dominique Ropion. He has an extensive CV that includes a lot of fragrances within the Frederic Malle brand, such as Cologne Indélébile, Geranium pour Monsieur, and Portrait of a Lady. This fragrance is supposed to mirror, in part, Albert Elbaz's sense of aesthetic and design ethos. From what I've been able to garner, Superstitious is the result of a meeting of the minds between master perfumer Ropion and the fashion designer Albert Elbaz, who as of right now is perhaps best famed for his time as the creative director at L'Envent. Ropion, under the design impetus of Frederic Malle, was already working on a new aldehydic floral. Elbaz was introduced to this yet unnamed project, and Ropion tweaked different aspects of the scent to echo Elbaz's aesthetic, and thus Superstitious Albert Elbaz par Frederic Malle, to give the fragrance its full name, was born. The fragrance opens with a floral tapestry of rose, peach and tuberose, along with a distinct aldehydic fizz. A soapy quality develops, but interestingly, there's also a slight green dankness lurking in the background. The florals from the opening quickly almost strip away one by one, and we get a slightly indolic jasmine. There's now a little bit more pronounced nature to the dirty greenness as the aldehydic fizz starts to work its magic. Admittedly, the opening of the fragrance is slightly uncomfortable, but as it develops on the skin, it mellows out, giving way to an almost invisible vetiver, a wisp of incense, and a restrained indolic soapiness. Eventually, that soapy vibe becomes more apparent, less indolic, and dominates along with an interesting faint impression of some of the florals that had previously faded into the background. And this is what I get for most of the dry down and for most of the fragrance's life. However, there was a very quick evolution of notes on my skin, and it does feel a little bit flat in the latter stages of the dry down and into the base. So much about this fragrance walks that very fine line between too daring and wearable, especially in that opening. I'd say this is a modern interpretation of an old school style, which gives the fragrance something of a retro feel to some. There's also something a little bit mumsy about it, which I guess is not necessarily a bad thing. I feel like this fragrance is best suited to the autumn and winter, and for formal wear, there's just something about the layered feel to the fragrance, especially when you first spray this on, that pairs nicely with the act of layering clothing. Think warm gloves, cozy scarves and chunky knit jumpers. If floral aldehydes are your thing, then you'll love this. However, if not, you'd better test before you buy. So, final ratings for Superstitious. Projection. For the first few hours, Superstitious produced a decent scent bubble, after which it shrinks quite rapidly and sits very close to the body, so projection gets a 3 out of 5. Sillage. Sillage was very discreet for most of the lifespan of the fragrance. I feel like this is quite an intimate sort of a fragrance in many ways, and the sillage keeps in line with the projection. So Sillage gets a 2.5 out of 5. Longevity. In terms of longevity, I got around 8 hours on my skin, so longevity gets a 3.5 out of 5. And now for the overall smell. Gosh, honestly, I have to say I'm not a fan of this. Floral aldehydes aren't really my style, but it's a bit more than just a taste clash. I think the opening doesn't unfold properly into the rest of the fragrance. It starts off quite complex, which I appreciate, but then soon turns into something much more simplistic than I imagined. The overriding soapy vibe is quite nice, but I find it difficult to live with the unbalanced dank elements of the fragrance, and the mumsy vibe that it gives off isn't something that I'd like to represent. Yes, there is a clear sense of quality to the notes, and I have a huge respect for the work of Dominique Ropion, but Superstitious is sadly a big miss for me. That being said, I can see this working for the right woman, but I would highly advise testing it out first, as for me this is certainly not a blind buy. So overall, the overall smell is unfortunately a 2 out of 5. And there you go, that's been my very quick little review of Superstitious Albert Elbaz par Frederic Malle Eau de Parfum. Cheers for watching and take care.